You're listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. Powered by BathTubGuys Refinishing. We discuss the refinishing industry, interview owners and operators, and give tips to business owners and entrepreneurs. Now, here's your host, Daniel Montalvo.
All right, guys. So back on the podcast here, we're with Patrick here from RBS. What's up, Patrick?
What's going on?
You know, breaking hearts out there.
A lot of stuff going on right now. But thanks for welcoming me to the podcast here. Yep. I heard you had some news.
Yeah. So we've been working together. Geez, it's like over a year now. The capacity has shifted in different ways of like how close we're working hand in hand. But now, like after this, especially this past year, doing all the stuff we've done with Tubcast and kind of promoting it at BathTubGuys, I have accepted a role over at RBS to pretty much be the brand ambassador for Tubcast. And so I'm going to be a little bit more involved over there than I have been, especially on the social media front. Another thing that's going to change too is the podcast is going to be now posted over at RBS. There's a couple of reasons for that. We kind of talked through it yesterday, but one of the things that always kind of didn't make sense to me, I just did it because it's the platform that I had, was posting the kind of like advice videos that I do. That kind of generalized stuff that's more for like the refinisher or the tradesperson on the Bathtub Guys page kind of just doesn't fit. But I did it anyway because that's the platform that I had. And then on our YouTube channel, having the podcast, like this is like those platforms are like customer facing, right? And that's content that's industry facing. So it kind of clashes, right? If a client's going on my page to look at stuff about Bathtub Guys and they see me giving refinishers Google Ads advice, they're like, what the heck am I even watching? Like, is this the right place? And so we want the context to fit the content, and it makes more sense. And I'm going to tell you guys why now is, we're going to really try to push hard to help more refinishers out there, Patrick. And it's something that we have discussed. The reason we started the podcast over here at Bathtub Guys anyway was to help refinishers in the industry, right? But now, I believe so strongly in the Tubcast brand and, all the benefits to using the product after having used it, over a year. And I really think that my time is better served focusing on getting more people to see the light, to better their businesses, to, try something different, and to just come into the future with us and work together. You know what I mean? So that's kind of what we're doing. And in service of that, like my content is going to be, it's going to be more at home over at RBS because of the stuff we're doing, let's touch on some of it. The main thing we want is to help people as much as possible, by not just selling product, right? We talked about this, Patrick. We don't want to just be like another big name, coating manufacturer. We want it to be more like, for lack of a better word, like a club, a community, like you're part of this tight knit community. The coding is one leg of it, but your business might need help with advertising. Like we have resources we can do to help you and dig as deep as you need us to dig with that, in return for you using the products that we offer. And same thing with like, maybe website stuff. Maybe you need some, like a roadmap on how to scale your business, or just tools that we can offer refinishers out there that want to grow their business. And if you want to add anything to that before I keep on going, because I'll keep on yapping for hours if you let me.
Oh, I definitely want to let you, share your full vision of the stuff that we've been talking about from right down to the last couple of months. Um, it just like you said, it just made perfect sense with the outgoing vision of what we are. We're not trying to be greedy and sell to every soul on the planet.
Yep.
We're not desperate for paint sales. We're doing amazing right now. You guys are doing amazing in work. You have another partner at BathTubGuys.
Yep.
Your brother Alex is is a full partner over there as well, and Alex is going to be taking over majority of the operations there.
Yep.
So that you can kind of focus more of your time helping me with the video. Like as I just from our to cut out what you were saying, it's it's been it's been bounced back and forth several different ideas from us for the last, I guess, the better part of the last year. You've been, how can we expand this to the world of refinishing? And we've definitely hit several stumbles along the way. We have great partners right now.
100%.
We've we've hit some roadblocks and have some ideas that were good ideas and some ideas that kind of fizzled out and fails. Um, and one of those definitely was the approach that we brought to everything, because ideally, it was, should we sell to other refinishers with the Pro line, or should we build out the BathTubGuys brand?
Yeah.
And for me, that felt like a smart way to go, because we would have more outright control. And what we found after several months of focus on this and development on it, that training new businesses or allowing people to buy licenses to run their own location, if if that's something that people want to do, that's available. But there are a lot of good people that work hard in this industry, and we kind of went out of our way to slam the spray business while we did it, right? We weighed into that stuff pretty heavily, and we we input anybody that's listening, anybody that's watching, anybody that's listening, anybody that knows anybody that sprays. Like, we know what the negatives are, but that's no reason that we should trash an industry. Like, I am a second generation refinisher. I left school. I left school when I was 17 to start my own bathtub refinishing business. I did it for about 20 years, and then started doing RBS. Once I found the material, I was like, man, there's got to be a better way. I've shared my story plenty of times, but um, that was it. It was, all right, great. I'm gonna do retail sales. I kill it in retail sales.
Yep.
Don't need this at all. This is extra, but from day one of kind of breaking through the wall on DIY sales and stuff, I went back to the drawing board and was like, rather than have people call, I say, how can I do boron as a professional? And the answer is you can't. It's a silly thing to do as a pro, right? Um, so I spent 3.5 years trying to figure out how to spray this. You can spray.
Yep.
It just, once we figured out how to spray it, we figured out how to roll it, and it could come out the exact path. So,
Mind you,
marketing.
we sprayed it. Like, that's like, the thing was never. What was that?
I don't think everybody knows that you guys were friends for 2 months of our relationship.
Yeah, well, because the original Tubcast was a spray solution. We went over there to RBS to learn how to spray it, which, I mean, learning how to spray, you already know how to spray it. It sprays. It is what it is. We were always interested in the roll-on for the potential benefits of it, but the first 2-3 months we exclusively sprayed it. It was never, like, here's the thing. I thought it was silly And this is why I leaned into it, just kind of explaining it. Like you said, it probably wasn't the right way to go about it. Um, like hindsight is 2020 and everything, right? But the reason we leaned into it hard was because everybody kind of knows, like you said, the issues with spray. And that's fine. Whether or not you want to spray, to me, is like, that's on you. But in the beginning, it was me telling people why I wasn't spraying, and then them getting upset that I wasn't spraying too. Um, and then I think what happened when we started rolling it, especially, is that a lot of the same people, I would say like the majority of the people who were kind of upset about us rolling it were people who were inquiring about it themselves and were kind of upset they couldn't get it. um,
Yeah, because at the very beginning, it was let's keep it inside so that we can try to develop a franchise model.
Yep.
And I kind of got off track with that part too. Like we had that, no, like we had that plan, but then when you realize the sheer magnitude of how expensive and how much work is going to need to be put in from a home-based perspective, um, and to manage people like this. Meanwhile, most of the reason you guys are finishing the first place is because you want to run your own business.
100%.
You don't want the man telling you what to do. You don't want the schedule. Well, guess what? If you're a franchisee, you're gonna do what home base tells you, and then we're gonna have to sit here and micromanage that. We discovered that after working with 3 or 4 different businesses, and it just was way too difficult. So from there, like that one, we developed the role professionally, and you guys switched your entire crew to it. You're doing high-end jobs, you're doing low-end jobs, you're doing every job.
Yeah.
With roll on, and the applicate, like what I kind of wanted to get away from, we talked about this, is even bothering mentioning the style of application, because at the end of the day, it's just a product, right? It's a great product for the industry. It's it's been lab tested by independent third party labs, and it's extremely bond heavy. It's extremely durable. It keeps its color. It's just a do all end all, like best current product that's available, right? So
Yep.
that's that. If you really wanted to spray it, you still can.
Yeah.
If you want to roll it and learn how to do that, it's a cheaper process. It's a better quality process, and it's a process that's gonna allow it to last longer and allow your technicians to stay at your company. I'm not trying to make this like this particular episode. We really wanted to just touch on that stuff. We're happy to have conversations with people about product and things like that. We really wanted to share like kind of just the way the last year turned out and how we got to the point we are. So I just wanted to kind of steer us back into it, to make people to let the listeners know really that this isn't going to be a product promo piece where we're just planning on talking about how we got where we are today and what the future looks for. So
Yep.
I wanted to steer a little bit that on course.
Yeah, no. So, I mean, the real reason we're even doing this is now, this podcast in particular, obviously, I haven't done a podcast in a minute. There's a bunch of stuff that happened in this whole series of events, but we've tried everything under the sun. Look, the reason, so people don't understand. Patrick can fuck off in golf and be fine. Like, he's not like Mr. Krabs greedy out here trying to get every single refinisher. If that was the point, we would have just opened it up to everybody from the beginning. Then people are like, oh, well, you're just doing it to grow your brand. Well, no, I was thinking of ways that I could help leverage my brand to help other refinishers. That was the original kind of thing. It was like, well, it would help me, sure, but also like it would help to have a bunch of one company, right? Because the original thing was to go after the big guys, like a Miracle Method. And like, how do you do that? By having a bunch of your of an alternative, right? But fine, that's not how it ended up working out. And then we've tried to kind of find a way to make sure that if you do commit to this, that you can benefit from the fact that it's unique, because that's like the main thing. That's something that I'm enjoying here in Florida, is that when I go to a hotel in my market, I can tell them that nobody else can do this, by the way. We work at Disney properties, we work at Four Seasons and Ritz Carltons and JW Marriott's, and like the ones that are owned by corporate, not the ones that just license the name. And they are going with us because the product's really good, but it also doesn't smell. And I want you guys to enjoy those benefits too in your market. And that's why all of this kind of went the way that it went. We were thinking about different ways to go about it. And what we really want, and what we've really been like, the first time, I've said this before, the first time I've met Patrick in person, we sat for like 8 or 9 hours talking about how to help people in the industry. Like that's literally like 90% of the mission. Like obviously you need money to do that stuff, but like we want to help people in the industry. And we're the
That was our entire 8-hour span of our first conversation, was literally that. It was, yeah. Hey, like, if you could just do whatever it is you want for a living right now, what would it be? And it was, dude, like Daniel's answer to that was, well, I would really love to be a part of a community that does this stuff. I love to have, annual functions, and I love to just, have all those ties and connections. And I was just like, all right, well, how do we make that work? And we spent a long time just kind of dreamboarding that. And then, the first step was to convert and start using product. And that, of course, it's been a year now, and everything's going great with that. Mm-hmm. And from there we've said, well, it's going to be very easy to build a community if they're all associated at paying you. And you were never hungry for customers' money either. It was just the principle of the long-term thing and how to get people to do this. But we're back to stealing people's identity and taking away what they worked hard to build, by trying to force a name change. Yeah. Now you have to advertise the product to do it. No, that's not working either. And when we took that gap where we did start adding businesses, right now so part of what we've done on the RBS page, we added a location, like a store locator for our certified installers, where we're frequently adding people, but we shut the door on that several months ago, so that we could really try to rein in internal training and try to build up that franchise lifestyle model. And what came of that is just an in-depth, conversation between Daniel and I, where we're like, this can be done. It's going to be very hard. It's going to be all new people. We're going to, there are just so many people that want to do better things and want to be part of something bigger already. Well, look at all the sales that we have from when we did open the door. We opened the door for like a 2-month stretch, and there's like 20 something locations that are doing installs that were, we had that short run where we let people in. Yep. Since, in the last couple of weeks, you've been saying you've got 4 or 5 new people that are getting added as we speak. And this just from DMs and sucks. So, the difference between what we're doing as a manufacturing shop and the installation company of BathTubGuys. So, that's what I kind of wanted to touch on here is just, when we talked about it and we broke it down, you're starting to make much more helpful content. Your goal from day one was always to work with a community and try to build something bigger than yourself. It felt like using BathTubGuys as the platform to do that would be great, and it was not received quite as well because let's face it, you're a competitor, right?
Yeah.
So it's harder for people to deal with a competitor. And in talking the last couple of months and kind of working things out with Alex and working things out with you and your own family, that's where the idea popped up. Well, what if you became a partner at RBS? It started being our brand ambassador for Tubcast, and we put together an entire investment package to try to help grow existing businesses their way.
Yep.
Obviously, I mean, I feel like when anybody that dislikes the product right now, they don't necessarily dislike the product. They dislike things they've heard or the people that are representing it, as in me and you. And it's because we've kind of soured the water by pushing out the spraying poison and all this stuff. Like, we built our lives around that. Um, at this point, like, when I came up in the industry 20, I guess this is a long time ago. It was like probably like 22 years ago was probably the first time I called Hawk. Hawk used to give you tons of promotional material and flyers and Snowflex sheets and actual stuff like tiles. Like, they just give you a couple $100 worth of stuff the first time we called. And of course, there all the other manufacturers' model is how can we how can we get as many customers as possible. Well, I liked what Hawk used to do. I liked that they had great customer care. They talked to us. They gave me technical support when things went wrong. They did everything that I could imagine to help me. And that was when they were privately owned. And now they're owned by an investment bank. Things have changed. And you don't get that same level of service. So what we want to do is we're really trying to make it one person per market, one business per market, where we can we like Daniel said, I don't have to do commercial sales. Like, DIY in and of itself pays all of my bills, gives me a solid retirement. Everything's perfect here. I've built for a long time. I have a lot of investments in other industries as well. It's not about the money for me. This is about me building what I always wanted when I was younger. I wanted that sense of community. I want us all to get together once a year and just share little tips and tricks that we learned. How exactly are you gonna, as a refinisher in Atlanta, how are you gonna give Daniel tips and advice on how he can better his business, knowing that he could just show up in Atlanta and start working there?
Mm-hmm.
That's why we're working on exclusive markets. I don't want a million customers. I want a couple hundred. Um, you know, I think 30 to 50-mile radiuses. We leave space to grow. These are all things that we talked about, and that's one thing that's really going to allow businesses to feel protected in this space. If you can walk into an apartment complex and say, this is the material that we use. We're the only ones allowed to install it. That's why you should choose us. I think that gives you a big competitive edge, whereas the other companies don't care as long as they sell as much paint as possible. I
Yeah.
already sell plenty of material. So the variance between my DIY product and the Pro line, it's virtually the same item, but DIY customers are paying $110 a kit, and pro customers get huge volume discounts. They get exclusive certified installer status. We're making investments in their company to help them with ads, to help them with training, to help them with growth. Anything you need, we're here for. If you need to make a graphic flyer, we have college graduate graphic design team in house.
Yeah.
If you want some promo and some social work or some Google ad advice, Danny's here to help you. If we need to bring your trainer down here and train them, BathTubGuys is willing to do full on trainings
and I'll fund the flight over there. Like, these are all things that we want to do so that next year, when we say, okay, in whatever month we're doing a retreat for a weekend, and we want everybody to get together. We want you guys to proudly say, yes, we're certified we're certified Refinished Bath Solutions installers. We're certified tub casters. And the last thing I'll say on this mega rant of mine is, the other big investment that I'm making is I'm doing a huge marketing campaign where I'm gonna reach out to as many property managers, as many building owners, as many large management company owners as I can, and we're gonna be pressing to make Tubcast the standard. I want, when you walk into a property, I want the property manager to say, "Oh, I'd love to have you work here. This is the only material we're allowed. Like, our refinishers are only allowed to use this material, though. Do you use this? And if the answer is no, then you can't work here." That's the marketing push that I'm going to push out there, because we've side by side tested it third party. We've done everything we can in that environment. There's definitely no reason why we shouldn't be the standard. We as a people created spraying indoors. Like, you wouldn't just spray paint a radiator in somebody's house.
Yeah.
Like, you would take that outside,
Or a
but we
car.
decided to normalize that. we've you can still spray this, but it's just such a waste of time and a waste of money to do it.
Yeah.
But we're not trying, like, we realized that we're knocking people really hard by saying, hey, I know you spent 20 years learning this trade and becoming great at it. And the truth is, you are great at it. I was great at it. Like, I could I'm moving in a week. I have a hutch that I'm gonna spray. I'm bringing it to the warehouse, and I'm gonna spray it. Because it's the only way to, it's a wooden kitchen hutch. It needs to be sprayed to get in all the grooves and stuff without having brush lines. With that type of paint. But that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray it. I'm not saying that it's something that shouldn't be done, but like heavy chemicals in there, you can do it easier and not have to risk losing your technicians.
Yeah.
Um, like, you can certainly touch on it too, Danny, but the the hardest thing in this industry, there are two or three difficult things, right? It's getting work, and then it's getting people to do the work are really the two hardest things. So, and when it comes down to it, if you have a product that's exclusive to you, that is special, and that the property may or may not have in their records as the only product allowed to be used in those buildings,
Yep.
like, if they have that, now you're the only one in that region that's allowed to do it. When we build this whole network, it's going to be, hey, like, who do you know in Florida? And then we're just going to pass referrals back and forth. But when it's standardized and it's in everybody's database as, oh, you can't use that stuff here. You can only use Tubcast. Um, you're gonna have all that work piled up. So that's not the problem. Now, who's gonna do the work? It takes, nobody's going to come on here and say it takes a day or two to train a guy to go spray tubs. It's just
No.
not going to say that. So, are you going to pay, you know a high percentage, or are you going to pay $30-$40 an hour to get, to poach a guy from another company? Or are you going to take 6 to 12 months and train them yourself, and then buy them a van, buy them all the equipment
At a
and all this
loss.
stuff?
And then them
Right.
them also potentially, like we've seen this happen with friends of ours in the industry. Danny Garcia talked about it before, where like guys will train and then just leave. They'll train and they'll get it, and once they get it, they'll just go and start their own thing and tell you, "Well, thanks." Like, it sucks, but because there's such a skill gap in spraying, and I've maintained that the entire time. Um, it's not that it's bad. It's just that there is a skill gap to it. You have to learn it, and then you lose a lot of leverage as a business owner because of it. Because you become so beholden on the guys that you train, and that's not necessarily a bad thing always, but because it's so skilled and so technical, the application part anyway, um, like you end up having to do a lot of things that you normally wouldn't have to do if you had something like Roll On, where it was just more accessible, right? And we're not like, this isn't going to be a program like what we're working on now isn't going to be something it works with everybody or for everybody, right? Like, if you love the spray gun, dude, and that's what you want to do, and you want to put your signature on every single job, because you're a craftsman and you love that, that is fine. This isn't for you. Like, we're not trying to convince those guys. We've never
You could
convinced those
spray it
guys.
if you really wanted to,
You
but
could, but
that's not who we're adding to the certified refinisher group.
exactly.
We're trying to get common minds that are like, oh, I can grow my business. I can
Yep.
scale my business. These guys are willing to invest in me.
Mm-hmm.
These guys trust me. Uh, I also mentioned that I mentioned it to you when we talked about doing this partnership. The like none of the manufacturers provide a warranty on their material.
Nope.
I plan on offering an actual manufacturer warranty on the product for any certified installers. I'm not talking DIYers. I'm not talking people that buy 5 kits a year. I'm talking about people on our list of certified installers that we refer. We will back your warranty, which I've gotten calls from several places that are just big apartment complexes in New York, in Chicago, in Houston. I've had several of them call and just say, we won't let people do these jobs unless you warranty their work. And I was like, how am I supposed to warranty some guy's work? I'm not. If
Yeah.
you sit here and we work together and we invest our time and some money in your business, and you're an exclusive installer, then of course I'm gonna stand behind you because I know you're not going anywhere. I know if you're involved in this program, it's because you're an honorable person and that you want to better the industry as a whole and you want to be part of our community.
And let's
Um,
talk about a little bit more in depth about what the program is, right? So
Sure.
look, we want people who want to better their businesses, want to grow and expand and have a path towards scaling, and not like, obviously if you're that ambitious to, like, go and take over the world, that's fine, but at least in your local market, right? How many refinishers do you know that are stuck stagnant at 2 or 3 guys and they can't get over that hump because of the issues we mentioned before? Either they don't have enough work, and then when they do get the work, they don't have the people to fulfill it. It's a vicious cycle. By the time you train those guys to be ready, they went with the next guy who has the capability to handle the work. A lot of people struggle in markets where it's hyper competitive and everybody does the same thing. Everybody sprays and they spray the same stuff. They all get it from the same people. In Florida, it happens very often because we have a paint manufacturer right here in Orlando. And how do you differentiate yourself? Well, if you're the only guy in the market that can offer something that is more durable, it is less disturbing because of the low odor. That will help propel your business. If you need help with Google Ads stuff to get you to that next level, like if you commit to us, we'll commit to you, and we'll have somebody, handle the account. It'll probably be me because I do really well with Google Ads. But we also have people who, like you said, the girls in the office can do design work for you, make flyers, just things that will help push your business to another level. So,
if you just don't have time to do certain things.
100%.
There are back end things that are very easy solutions that can be super cheap and cost efficient, that can just push you over the top. We're working on an entire platform that allows people to book it now, and I know I know some people will have a drawback to that without seeing, like, it's just something new. So at this point we're seasoned and we realize anything that you present that's new without showing that it works and proving it in person, one on one, to you specifically. But try not to be skeptical, or even be as skeptical as you want of everything that we say here. But what at the end of the day, what we're going to do overall is we're putting our money where our mouth is. If you say book it now doesn't work and you're going to get all these random jobs, I will pay for your plane ticket. I will pay for your hotel. I will send you to Florida. You can sit next to Danny right on the couch and watch his brother book all the jobs with Book It Now. We can watch them pay for upgrades that you've never even thought to ask for, that they just pay for them. And they put their card in, they pay before you even show up. There's
Yep.
no risk of not getting paid. You'll see that. And then you'll see all of the technicians. The plan for trips like that are to get one-on-one, to see anything, to see and prove anything that we do office wide and anything that we do in the field. So
Yep.
you'll be able to see a guy roll a countertop. You'll be able to see a guy roll a tub, a shower, and then you'll also be able to see the customer say, "Wow, I'm so happy. Here's your money." Because that at the end of the day, that's what you guys are all truly afraid of, is that I'm going to do this work and then the customer's going to stiff me, or even worse, they're going to file a claim against me or something, and everything's going to go bad. I don't have time to take that risk. If you see it in practice for 5 days straight and you watch that team and go to every job site, you're going to see exactly the truth, which is the customers love what we're putting out there. The technicians can breathe. They can go home to their families without being covered in paint. The operation itself is a lot cheaper, and then you'll see that you can get higher end bookings. My customers will never pay $700 for a tub. We had a customer pay $1,200 for a tub the other day.
Yep.
It's as simple as saying, would you like the $800 version, the $400 version, or the $1,200 version?
Yeah.
And they say, oh, I want the best. 1,200. Click, done. Um, and it's the right job every time. So
But
I
like
mean, that's one feature, but it's a really big thing.
and that's not just a testament to the material. So that's a testament to all the things that we're talking about with this program, is like showing you how to polish up the branding, showing you how to make sure that you have like your web presence is there, like all the things, like whatever it is that's struggling in your business, how we can help. It's like a table, and all these things are a leg of the table to make sure that you can get to the next level. But like no one's just gonna buy a $1,200 tub because you ask real nice. Like, but they'll buy it if like everything that your brand communicates to them is that you are the guy that's worth paying $1,200 for a tub. And that goes into like things that we can do, like business coaching. A lot of people ask me anyway. And so like those are all things that we're willing and going to do for companies out there. We want to help you guys get to the next level. I've my like a lot of you guys know, like my personal like goals for a long time was to scale my service company to new heights. And sometimes the grass isn't greener, guys. Like all that comes with that is a lot of headache and a lot of responsibility. And for the right person, they might be able to do that. But for me, like the thing that I always came back to is, how can I help people? Like I could have just held on to this exclusivity forever and just been like, well, sorry, like that's what it's going to be. This is where it begins and ends. And it's going to be like, it's going to be either I do it or I don't do it, but everyone else can just like kick rocks. But that's not what I want to do either. And just for context, I say this not to like, for no other reason than just to let you know that like I am a person with like character and morals. Like I have two competing companies in my market that are owned by family members. No affiliation to me. They both use the product because I would rather I'd rather my family have it if it's not going to be me than others. I could have just been a dickhead, right? I could have just been like, no, it's just going to be me. But there's 3 companies using Tubcast in Orlando, and it's my fault. I let them. But at the same time, I want to see people do good. I want to see people grow. And like, I don't want to be a gatekeeper, really. My thinking about the way we were doing things in the past was, some people might not believe it, but it was always in service of how we can help people. Like I genuinely thought it was going to be a good idea for people to use an established name versus their own. But I get it too. It would be the same thing. It would be like if Miracle Method knocked on my door and said, "Hey, get rid of all your logos and stuff. Your Miracle Method now." I'd be like, "No," because it means something. And like you said, the entrepreneur journey, like there's a lot of pride in that, and people have built things and they're proud of them, and they don't want to feel like they're being overtaken. And in the past, that's kind of what it felt like to a lot of people. So,
I like the point that we've gotten to now.
Yeah.
Like we're here now, back to what we talked about day one, which was how do we work together to help the industry and help individual businesses that we can put into, plug into a great network and have the trust to be able to say, hey, we're all getting together next month, and have somebody say, well, we figured out if whatever, just we figured out some solution, and this makes it 5 minutes, 10 minutes faster every
Yeah.
time. But I'm not going to tell you because you're my competitor. It's like, no, you should tell everybody, because all we're doing is trying to help each other. You don't need to, like, I mean, you're a good testament to it too. You can crush it in one market. Like
Yep.
just in Orlando, your Bathtub Guys makes plenty of money to sustain, to just have a great life, not a good life, but a great life. And that's just in Orlando. Every market has more and more. I know some places in one city that have more than 20 technicians in just one city.
Mm-hmm.
Other markets, you need to be an owner operator. And I mean, if you're in North Dakota, you probably need to just be an owner operator, and you'll make decent money. But you don't need to own 9 locations and deal with the stress of that. That's what we kind of looked into when we were working on this. It was like, all right, let's open 5 more locations. And it was just like the manager can't get it done. The salespeople can't do it. It's 50 grand a month in overhead because we have to pay all this stuff without having an established presence here. But you guys all have established presence. We I'm sure it will end up being the first thought on your mind is like, great, what percentage of my business do I have to give away to get any of this help and these features, or how much do I have to pay
99.9.
you?
I'm just
Right?
no, I mean with
0.0, right?
zero,
We don't
yeah.
want, I don't want any of you, I don't want any stock for my investment. I want you to convert, I want one location in each market to convert and be a Tubcast installer. And if we get the commitment to be a Tubcast installer, we'll pay to train you. We'll pay to convert your products over. We'll give you a warranty that we back for your commercial properties. We'll do extreme commercial marketing for you. Like I said, when we go in, we want to say this is the standardized product for all commercial bathtub refinishing
Yeah.
is the way that we want to market the product. And that's my direct product management that I'm going to pay for, to push to property managers, on top of the coaching, on top of the, if you need an ad investment to help grow and get more people, if you need to get your trainer trained, you have 10 people on the road and you have a trainer. How do we make that work to convert? You send your trainer down, and we teach your trainer how to do it. Um, if it's a 3-person team, we send your best person down and they go home. And when they get home, they're ready to be a trainer. It's a very straightforward learning curve. And the model that we're putting together on a coaching basis and help style basis is just, it's right there ready to help people. And it kind of coincides with this too, because we want to make this podcast much more regular. I have talked to Danny about it. We want this to be a weekly release.
Yep.
We want to bring in, uh, if anybody does, for people that join into the network, we're going to start out obviously with all the people that are currently certified installers, but we're going to be inviting them on to tell their story. So it's not, well, Bathtub Guys does this and it's a DIY product. It's Bathtub Guys. it's so many more there's so many more people that are involved in this, that are doing it and running their towns with it. And and we're working on helping them. So we're gonna help them out first. We're gonna invite them on one by one, and let them tell their before and after, their what they've seen, because everyone that's working with it now, that we have listed, has been working with it for several months. They've been working with it for, like, I guess, the better part of 6 months now. And they're getting really good.
Rodney, that
Um,
guy, man.
yeah,
I always,
yeah, I'd love for Rodney to be the first guest.
me too. I always bring him up just because, like, and like I said, this is not to convince the people who are unconvincible. If none of this sounds good to you, then it's not for you. But if you're curious, right, which Rodney was curious, he was a diehard spray guy. You can ask.
Rodney's all-in-one coatings in,
Yeah.
I think, LA, right?
Yep. And I mean, he DM'd me when I was doing the lives all the time on Instagram, like, spraying, nothing's gonna be better. Like, I don't, send me a kit, I'll try it. And he tried it once and was like, he's like, it didn't come out how I wanted it, but I'll get better. I'll practice. Kept practicing, and he got it to the point where he's like, I will happily never spray again. Like, he literally was like, there's no reason to. And he says like 95% of his work is roll on now. The biggest hang up was the counters, which we have the solution for now. So he's pretty soon going to be only rolling on.
Right.
Over here in Orlando, we roll everything on. My cousin Julian, who owns All Tub and Tile in Orlando, they only roll on. And one of my cousins that wanted to get into the industry, I helped them out, and they started an entire operation in like a month, like, because they didn't have to wait around and train people. They got a guy who's out there doing jobs, who learned in a week, like, just picked it up, was able enough to go do tubs. They eased him into the tile work, but I mean, compare that to spraying, and it's just like a night and day. So, like, we're doing it. Customers are paying for it. They're happy with it. But we're also helping businesses. Like, at the end of the day, like, Rodney, he had some interest in us helping him with Google Ads stuff, which is something we're doing. I know a lot of you guys asked me for that kind of advice and stuff. And so, like, this is a good way to kind of get on board with that, because I'm limited in my resources. I want to help as much people as possible, but I'm one person. But if you join this, it's a team of people that are there to help you. And so we can help more people more efficiently and transform your business. And that's really what we want to do, is help as many people as we can in this journey. And then I know for like a lot of times, like, a lot of people, it felt like we were just being greedy bastards, but like, a lot of you, like, who know me, a lot of you who have met me, who thought that of me and then met me, know that I'm not that kind of guy. I always bring up, like, Casey, who came down here, who was like, well, me and him had lunch, and he was like, I was trying to get the sense of, like, where if you were just a shitty grifter or like a genuine guy. He's like, you seem like a really nice guy. And I'm like, oh, thank you. Like, but like, it's because I can see how, some of the stuff that's just me promoting the business because I was doing it on the same page where I'm trying to help people. A lot of it just seemed like self-aggrandizement and like fucking rubbing their nose in it, and like, it was never meant to be that. But like, it's like you said, it's like, well, you're a competitor, why are you giving me advice? And then they just turn the blinders on and don't listen. And that's why this whole thing kind of came about. We're going to focus more on helping people, because that's really what we both want at this point.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing for you to say, like, as Bathtub Guys, and being the face of Bathtub Guys, and then going on there and just talking about how, you work at Disney, at Four Seasons, at Marriott, at all these places. You do. It's true. You can show the pay stubs. It's there. We did lives there, right? But
Yeah.
at that point, now you've gotten it yourself several times with the I don't know why you're trying to brag, blah blah blah, and my customers, this or that. Because now we're starting arguments because we're trying to put, it feels like you're rubbing that in versus, the presentation that we'll be putting out from RBS and through the podcast here is a sense of community, love it or hate it, like we're gonna be there with a friendly, a friendly hand to help. And things like that. If you get um as a company, you get a new hotel project, you get a new big apartment complex, we're gonna be sharing that and posting that for everybody because that's a huge accomplishment for you. And through the manufacturer location, that's gonna help you get more big projects by saying, look at all the places that our product is the standard. It's not used there. It's the only thing used there
Yep.
is what we're trying to push and make that well known. In doing so, now you're not, now it's congratulations to Bathtub Guys for working at Four Seasons today. Congratulations to All in One Coatings for doing whatever a Gray Star property today. But we're going to be here trying to share and promote and build your business. If you need help with website type stuff, if you need help with capital to get over a small hump, or you're trying to get into commercial but you can't get over the net 30, net 60, net 90 nonsense payments, like
Yep.
there are things we're willing to put in our time and some money to help your business get where it needs to be so you can no longer be the road guy. This isn't really like a one-man show type of a deal. I mean, really, we need companies that are more established and clearly care about their customers with great reviews and a couple technicians in the field. But if it's something that you feel this product, if you were the only one allowed to use it in your market, would it help you get more quality trained technicians? Would it help you get more jobs? Will it help you charge more for jobs? Get repeat business?
Would it help
Make
you
your
get
make
to
your
the
day
point?
easier.
Yeah, but also, man, like the real life stuff, man. Because like for those of you who don't know, like lots changed. I'm a dad now. Like being able to come home at like 2 p.m. and be with your family because there's people out there who are capable, who you can trust, who have the process broken down to a simple way where you know that they cannot mess it up as unless they're just grossly incompetent, but you know that 9 out of 10 times they're gonna deliver a good job. Like those things, those peace of mind, that's stuff that's priceless. And like I know a lot of people who are like, even they like I met a guy who came here from New York. He has 4 technicians and still does the work, like because he has enough work for 5 but can't find the 5th guy. Like I
Yep.
mean,
That's how it goes, though, right? And now
mhm.
you got to go home stinking like paint,
Yep.
a little stoned from the from the ride,
Yep.
and you're frustrated and stuff. What all the people, and don't let me be the one to speak for this, but when we have Rodney on, when we have Casey on, when we have all the when we have all the bigger people that have been using the material for a long time on in the next few weeks,
Yep.
they'll be able to tell you themselves. They went and their brain shifted, and they no longer have crazy brain fog from getting less oxygen just by wearing the respirator. It's harder to breathe, right? And I mean, there's a lot of stuff that goes with it, and none of this is going to be mean spirited. It's all going to be community based, and we're just going to share real people's stories. And realistically, if you think that it's something that could help, there's nothing that involves you paying us. We're
Mm-hmm.
not charging a monthly fee. We're not taking a percentage of your company. We're asking you to give us a chance to kind of help walk through your business with you and help see if this is a good fit for you, just as honest, good human beings. If it's something that fits for you and you want to email us or call Danny, um, everything will be in the post and stuff like that. But Daniel at Ecapel USA or finishedbathsolutions.com. I'm sure you can reach him on you can write just to the RBS. Some of the things with Danny becoming a partner, I guess we didn't really throw the brand ambassador stuff out too far.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit
Um,
about that.
but that role is the role really is, he's going to be helping you guys to learn all this stuff, helping to see what we can add to your business to help you, become part of our community. And of course, like I said, we're willing to provide all that stuff, but we got to figure out what you need first.
Yeah.
But in doing that, he's going to be able to, he's going to take over our social media accounts. He's going to be posting his videos and tips and tricks there. We'll be sharing and reposting a lot of your before and afters, a lot of your, you know, people in the community's videos. I know Rodney does quite a few of them. Um, but we'll be doing all that stuff as well. But that said, you can write to us on Facebook or Instagram, TikTok. Danny's going to be the one there. You'll be able to. I'm sure he's shared his cell plenty of times. The office number here is 888 uh 882 2278. Or I think
Isn't
it's
it
yeah.
88
Actually,
888 Tubcast? Like literally?
it's 800. Yeah, it's
Oh,
1-800 Tubcast.
there you go.
But yeah, I'm being silly. But I mean, you can write to us through the website. You can send us an email. You can write to us on here. But
And all of you
let's
guys
just
have
talk
my
about it. You guys are all already reaching out to both of us, anyways.
exactly.
Like, just know that there's not going to be anything mean spirited on the other side. And at the end of the day, if you do talk to us and it's not a good fit, it's no hard feelings. We're not gonna put negative press out about you. We've changed our attitude on how to market this as a collaboration, and that's what we agreed on when we decided to work together. Was, this is the road. It's going to be just a very, very community driven uh, path, and we're not gonna go away from that. We're gonna stick with trying to help grow businesses and try to build a community.
And we urge, anybody who's remotely interested, reach out because along with all this is coming things that me and Patrick have both dreamt about for a while, which is like when we talk about community, like we want to have like quarterly or at least twice a year like events where like we actually have all you guys come in and like we network in person, we talk about business, we could talk about how we can help each other. Like if you meet the guy who has the rights for the product in New York, and you guys can maybe work something out to where you guys are both benefiting it because you have a client in California that also operates in New York. There's going to be opportunities for you guys to network with each other, but also influence the actual products. We've influenced the products. We used the product for a while. There was things that we changed. One of them being more pigment in the top coat, and the other one being the current formulation of the primer. And those are all things that are going to help us get better. Because if we have 20 people in 20 different states telling us there's an issue, we're going to listen and work it out. But those are all things that it's going to be really cool to be part of a community that's listening, and you're talking to the people who control the manufacturing and care enough to change it for you.
Right.
And I know we talked about this. It's in the early stages, but there is going to be different versions and different like progression of the product. Like this is not going to be the same thing forever.
But we have options for
Yeah.
for when you're doing a hotel for a quick dry non-slip. We have it. We have clears. We have countertop stuff. We have everything all
Yep.
all aligned, and a lot of this was based on 2 or 3 different businesses saying, well, I'm getting fish eyes in the finish. I'm getting this. Everything can only get fixed if we work together.
Yep.
And we tighten it up. Like, I invented the application process of this product.
Mhm.
And then I wanted it to cover better. And the reason I wanted it to cover better is because Danny said we have to put 3 coats of primer on there. It's ridiculous.
Yep.
Now it covers better. The next iteration is going to make it so, like, right now it's 2 coats of primer, 1 coat of top coat. The next iteration is going to be 1 and 1, because we put in a lot of time and testing into all this stuff.
We're working on
Clears,
getting the acetone
we
out
made it
of the
faster.
equation too. That's going to be big.
Yeah. It's easier for all that. The only other thing that's negative that I would say about like reaching out and stuff, you're gonna want to do it sooner than later. I'm not trying to like mush people along and say get out of your comfort zone and do this, but I'm not joking around when I say it's one per place. Like, I'm not looking for anybody north of Philadelphia anymore. I'm not looking for anybody in Philadelphia. I'm not looking for anybody in Orlando. We're not looking for anybody in LA. We're not looking for anybody in the Dallas or San Antonio.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for people in markets that are not available, that are not listed on our page right now. If you're listed on our page, you know, we'll be in touch because we're really trying to you know push the help and try to get the full conversion for anybody that's not like exclusively using it. But like as you guys sign on, if there's somebody already in Nashville, which there's not right now, but if there was, we're not taking on a second person because this is the commitment that we're going to put in writing. You are the exclusive buyer of this commercial product in this 50-mile territory. Um, we will not allow anybody to step on your toes. If one of your technicians leaves, they're gone.
Mm-hmm.
They are not allowed to buy from us. They might move to Minnesota. Maybe they can buy up there, but they can't buy and compete with you. So no technician can leave and then try to steal what you've built, and no one's going to get any of the benefits. Like any DIYer is not going to get any benefit of what we do.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, the last thing I'll say about DIY, just because it always ends up coming up, but if somebody's buying our $100 DIY kit, they're not your customer. They were never trying to pay $400 or $500 to do a tub. They were trying to buy Rust-Oleum for $40, and then they saw ours and said, "Well, I'll splurge and buy this."
Yep.
They were never going to call you, and if they do screw it up, that's when you'll come in and charge them to do it over again, just like you would normally.
Well, and
Um,
that little
but don't
tidbit,
worry about those guys.
that tidbit there too. I've always like because I've been around like handy people, and I
Yep.
know there's like two types of DIYers. There's the ones that are just broke and like they're gonna go with the cheapest thing, and then there's the other ones that are like the serial triers. Like I always try it myself before calling a professional. Uh,
I do
I
too.
I'm like that. You know, I tried to rewire a pool pump and it almost burned my house down. And then I called a pool guy and spent $800 after I spent $200 in tools because I'm that guy.
Right.
Um,
Well, I'll say with that too, like think of like that guy, right? If it's me, right? And because I'm the same way, right? I'm gonna try to get it done too. First of all, every product, aside from like Hawk and Midwest and these specialty spray coatings, are the only things in the entire world that you can't just go buy.
mhm.
You can go buy a boiler and install it yourself. At Home Depot, you can just go buy a water pump. You can buy every part to a car that you need. You can buy every plumbing piece, every electrical piece, every like paint is a very simple one. Paint is easy, right? That's what we're saying. Rolling stuff and painting is easy. It's so easy that there are, I don't know, 100 to 500 times as many painting companies as there are bathtub refinishing companies.
Yep.
That's how easy it is that all, whatever, we'll say there's 500,000 painters in the country.
Hmm.
Why? It's so easy. Anybody can do it.
Yeah, I
It's
mean,
not the truth, right? But I just, as I was a professional painter, I just paid painters to go paint the house that I'm selling because I don't have time and I don't want to do it.
yeah.
So I'm now your customer, because I don't have the time to do it myself.
But then what?
So I would be a DIYer if I had time.
As the type of guy that's the serial trier though, because I'm like that too. What do you do when you have to call a professional? Now you pay the most expensive thing to just not have to deal with it. Like I went and found
Yeah.
the 5-star pool company and I paid twice what the cheapest quote was because I was like, I don't even want to have to deal with it because I already tried and failed. So
Right.
like,
And what I was gonna say when you said that too, I dangled on a bit, but um in addition to if they splurge and go with you, but they know, like, they in their mind they're like, I could have done it myself, and maybe the husband or the wife is just like, no, we're hiring a person. Now, who who's going to be a better customer? The guy that just called you out of the blue and said, hey, just go, and didn't even call you, you just clicked and booked now online. Is he a better customer, or the guy that's like, oh, I fucking could have done it myself? Now, you know what? I'll pay him, but I'm going to be right up his ass. I'm going to nitpick every little thing. Like, that's the worst. Like, even if you could get that customer and convince him away,
Why would you?
he's just going to be a friggin' headache.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we just just go with the, like, we don't need to try to convince people, is all I'm saying. I went with a painting company because I didn't want to paint the walls. I didn't go because they were going to do a perfect job, which a lot of people do. You know, a lot of people, that is their standard. But I hired them because I didn't have time to do it, and I didn't want to do it. So that guy is never going to be there up your ass. I'm not even, they're at my house right now, not even home.
Wow.
I have no need to be there because they're a professional company, and that's what I'm paying for their experience. I'm not paying for, I'm not paying for anything more than that.
And
So
time
they're
is
gonna do it in an
valuable.
hour. I'm gonna do it in 6 hours.
People with money value time
Easy.
almost above all else, and I'll leave it at that because I think that, like, at the end of the day, like, when I was dirt poor, I did everything around the house. I would never hire somebody because I was poor. Like, and like, when you have a little money, you're like, what's worth it? Me slaving away at it myself for hours, or to save a few bucks, or me throwing it to a professional? And most of the types of people who order services, home services, they know that they're going to spend money. So we did like an hour and 6, so we got to wrap it up, Pat. But yeah, I'm excited about this whole thing, man. It's going to be really cool to be part of this whole community with you guys, and keep on doing it. It's stuff that we've kind of already been doing, but we're really leaning into it. And I really think that RBS is the vehicle to drive this part. So just for all you guys, real quick, you still might see me on the Bathtub Guys page, but my involvement there is going to be purely stuff that has to do with customers, and like, that's like customer facing. All the stuff that's industry facing to help refinishers, help other people, that's all going to be on RBS. So the content that I'm doing, giving advice, tips, all that type of stuff is going to be exclusively over there. The podcast is going to be over there because this stuff is for you guys, and I do not want my brand kind of like overshadowing all the stuff that I'm trying to do to help the greater cause here, right? So that's kind of where I wanted to leave it at. You got any final words?
When you guys are ready to reach out, reach out on Instagram, reach out on Facebook, call us, call Danny directly. We'll plug you into the right channel. We'll get a meeting together. Danny has been putting a lot of work in this in the back end. So I just want to thank you for believing in us and trusting trusting the process as we've developed this, because there's been a lot of changes, a lot of pivots, and you've given us a lot of faith along the way. I mean, we've done the same with you.
Yep.
But I wanted to thank you for that, and I look forward to starting to do this with actual refinishers and stuff on the air. This is going to be so exciting. I'm over the top excited about this. I love the prospects that we have going here.
Yeah, me too. I can't wait to have you guys come over here too and be on the podcast, like other refinishers and stuff. So it's going to be good, man. The whole studio here is ready to go for guests. So it's going to be cool. And when you come down too, man, make some time. Let's do something live. But yeah, we'll leave it there. We'll talk to you guys soon. And that's it for now. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Bathtub Refinishing Podcast. If you liked what you heard, be sure to keep up with the Bathtub Guys on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram, or visit BathTubGuys.com for more. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.